We will call this January 8th Commission meeting to order. Commissioner Pike, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
First item on the agenda, we have Sheila Anderson and Patty with treasurer with contract.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. Hello.
Hi, Sheila.
Good morning. And just swing around this way now. You bet.
Thank you.
You have two statements in front of you. First one is for Jack Klebish, and the payment amount is there, and the second one for Jeremy Peterson. And for Klebish, he's proposing $175 per month, starting the last day of January of this month. And for Peterson, $125 a month, starting the last day of January.
That's your recommendation?
Yes.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Weiss, second by Sutton, to authorize accepted payments on the two tax deeds that are late. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
Unless you have a question.
Thanks for working through that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good morning.
We got a little time, Sarah. You want to go through a few of your items?
Sure. All right. I have the minutes for January 2nd with correction to the expense policy, and that was to strike out except the sheriff.
Move it.
What was the scoop on that? It's been in there, is it because, how long has it been in there?
It was assumed that they would always use a county vehicle, and in the event that a county vehicle isn't available, they would use their own vehicle. But it just doesn't make any sense why you would have just the sheriff singled out to not reimburse if they use their own vehicle, when other departments have access to county vehicles also. So it just made no sense why you would accept them or out of the policy or in policy when they may be forced to use their own vehicle sometime if one
How long
isn't
has it been
available.
in there, or why did we?
Apparently it was added in 2015.
or 15, yeah, 15 it was, and 16 it started, it was in there for
What was
some
our reason for
reason.
putting it in?
Nobody seems to know. Because it was just assumed that with their fleet, they would always have a vehicle available.
And does he have his own?
He does, and they always use it, but in the event that they would have to use it, by policy, you couldn't reimburse them if it was in the policy except the sheriff.
Gotcha.
So if one of his employees would have to use their own vehicle out of necessity, we couldn't reimburse them because of the language in the policy.
Has he ever had to use his own? Or
He has in the past,
Oh.
but he hasn't submitted mileage request. But if it's an employee of the sheriff, then we wouldn't be able to pay with that wording in there.
Oh, because by sheriff, you think it means the whole
The
department?
department,
Even
right.
though it says just sheriff?
Right, right.
I would assume it just means the sheriff, so I assumed it was there because he has his own vehicle and has never needed to lend his vehicle out, that he always has it, but maybe that's wrong.
Well, why would you accept him if...
Because he has a vehicle.
Well,
I think the
other-
point of it is, and I haven't talked to anybody about this, but I go to Sioux Falls for a state attorney board meeting, and I take a kid with me, and my parents meet me in Beersford to pick up my son or something so they can see him for the night.
Oh, then you want to use your personal, not county.
Well, then I don't get paid to drive to Beersford. I get my mileage to Sioux Falls for my meeting, and that's it. Now, the sheriff could be running around with his vehicle under this, you know, all these different places, when it's for personal use.
Sure.
That would be the issue I see. So if you take it out, then if he does those type of things, he wouldn't get paid for it because he'd be using his personal vehicle and wouldn't be getting mileage. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That would be the biggest issue in my mind. Because I do that all the time where I'm running, you know, doing personal things. If I'm in Pierre, running errands for something, I don't get paid to run those errands. I'm not getting mileage for that.
But you are entitled to mileage for the authorized meeting.
To that location, yes.
Right.
Yep. But the sheriff would be running errands in his vehicle, and in his county-owned vehicle then. That's the only way he could get paid to go to a meeting is to drive his county-owned vehicle. Or he wouldn't get paid, but it would be covered because it's his vehicle.
Sure. Okay.
May I have a motion from Sutton? Looking for a second? Second. A motion by Sutton, second by Weiss to change the language to remove except the sheriff from policy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Move.
Second.
We're pulling one, right?
We have to make an amendment there.
I'll make a motion to approve with the exception of one bill from maintenance that we're pulling for further review.
Which one was it?
That right there.
Okay, second.
Motion by Sutton, second by Kipley to authorize the claims and payroll with the exception of one claim pulled from maintenance. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
Move it.
Second, Weiss.
Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss. Approve the HR report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorize the chair, excuse me, chair to sign a TMS contract for 2019.
Move.
Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Piker to authorize the chair to sign a TMS contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, now I got board appointments. I'm just gonna do one motion and they'll be separate in the minutes though.
Okay.
The Fair Board, I have a one-year term for Don Ganji and Lee Coach. I have, this is their second three-year term, Christy Erickson and Mike Fay. First three-year term, Kristen Gonzer. And Planning and Zoning, I have Stan Beckler and Jerry Streckford. That'll be a 5-year term. 4-H Promotion and Expansion Committee. And then the dive team. Next, must have that in the packet. Those are my board appointments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Sutton, second by Kipley to authorize the board appointments.
One question.
Yep.
On the 4-H one, I know you're our liaison to that 4-H group, the leadership group, but it had Gary on there.
No, this is a different one. This is their
Expansion's different.
expansion. Yeah, this is the 4-H leader group.
Okay, gotcha. Good to go?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A resolution for range fire suppression.
Move it.
Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Piker, authorize signing the range fire management. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A resolution for Housing and Redevelopment Commission.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley, authorize signing the redevelopment housing contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Contracts. I don't know what was in the packet for
It was
those.
for the generator,
There was
maintenance.
several of them that Judy normally has every year. I think
One
one
for
is
lift station.
purchasing natural gas for a low price, the generator, and...
There was a lift station, but
Yeah. They're pretty common that we do it every year, so...
annual maintenance contract. I'll move them.
Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to authorize the contracts with the maintenance department. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The Richmond Youth Camp 2019 fee schedule.
Any comments on that, Kurt?
I think you only had a question on the user's fee.
So if somebody's not using any buildings, but
Correct.
they get hurt on the ground,
Correct. Yeah,
We
everything is handled the same. We still send out the lease, we still ask for the insurance, and the lease has the dates that they will use it. And it's, what we've had in the past is, like the Boy Scouts will just come out and tent camp, just to use the facilities, or I'll have a wedding party that just wants to get married by the lake where it's pretty. And they like it because it's a private area. It's a lot different from having at Wiley Park where there's people and things like that. So currently we do up the lease, same as we always do with the insurance requirements. It's just we don't charge for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we do these events, we still got to mow, we still got to spray for mosquitoes. So even though they're not using the buildings, there's still a cost to the county for having those people out there. No different than going to a state recreation area or a state park. If you just want to use the facilities, you still got to pay a fee. And I didn't want to make a real large fee on it because the youth groups of the Boy Scouts and so forth. So anyway, that's what I was asking for. Everything else is the same.
Do you have the fee schedule? Because was there like a user's fee? Wasn't there a question about?
That was the question on the user's fee.
Okay, so it's instead of, in lieu of, for those circumstances?
No, we never had a user fee in the past.
Okay.
It's always been just for the building. $150 for the lodge per day, $60 for the dorms, and then youth groups are $5 a day for the kids, and $7 a day for adults.
And the user fee is going to be $25?
$25.
So if the Boy
Per-
Scouts stay 2 nights, it would be $50 for the whole
Per
group?
event.
Per event.
Yeah. Because what they usually do is they'll come out on a Friday night, and they'll stay Friday night, and then they'll pack up and leave Saturday.
I'll move it.
Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Pfeiffer to approve the fee schedule for Richmond Camp, youth camp. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I think we're on to our next agenda item. We have a discuss employee sundial approval requirement. And what we're looking at here is our payroll, our employees. There's some that have not approved their time, and the department head ends up doing that. Well, sometimes they don't know exactly what the employee's done, so I believe it is in our policy manual that it is mandatory for the employee to approve his time card or his sundial card or sundial check-in. The question is, how do we get everybody to do it? So I'm open to suggestions, and what are your thoughts?
Is it issues with one particular department, or what's the reasoning?
It's a variety of departments. Most of it's the 24/7 type stuff where they leave for a few days and they just don't do it before they leave, before they're off shift. But it's a variety of departments.
So we can't just let them out of it, because that's the only...
Well, unfortunately, it causes the department had a lot of extra headaches because there's vacation being paid and things that are being paid that shouldn't be paid, and there's things left off, and I mean, it's just, I mean, if you want to get your right paycheck, you as the employee should be conscious enough to take care of that. I mean, that's just...
And policy states that
Yeah.
it's their job to
So I guess...
sign off on it.
Question would be is, what kind of...
Be checked, where it's pre-approved, where it stays in there all the time?
Yes.
Maybe they're not aware of that?
As far as I know, everybody knows that, but
You mean there's
Well,
a
how about-
permanent button that you don't have to...
Mhm. It stays in there, like if you're gonna be gone on Monday when they're doing payroll, if you check that Friday, I thought that stayed in there all the time then,
It
unless
does.
you uncheck it.
that's why it's even easier, but
So maybe somebody could do...
still doesn't happen.
Because I know we talked about trainings at the new facility, do a training and run through all of the different options and the rules people need to follow for sundial and have people go over for the training. That'd be one option.
And make the training mandatory so everybody knows.
Has there ever been any
I
type
didn't
of...
suggest that, by the way. Sorry.
Is there any type of, 5, 10 things that can be given out in a paper? These people, have they ever been handed anything that says this is what you need to do?
Clip it to the paycheck.
When we first did this, everybody got...
Is that something maybe we need to look at? I mean, I don't know how detailed it is. I don't think we want to hand 5 sheets out, and I mean, there's gotta be some kind of just 1 through 10, this is what you have to do to follow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most people understand sundial, but like Patty brings that point up, are they aware of that? They can do that. Is that a step they've just forgotten about? I mean,
How many are we talking?
It varies, it's different every payroll.
Like, what's the maximum? 100?
No.
10?
Probably 20, 30.
Max?
Well, why don't you, Gary, contact each one of those people, those 20 people, and personally, and tell them that you haven't been doing this and you need to do it.
And show them where that little X is in there
Sure.
to check, so
You
that
can
they
do
know.
that.
Yeah.
That would eliminate at least those 30 that consistently do it.
Sure. Yeah, we can try that first and
Or a
see what
screenshot
happens.
email to everybody that says this is where it is.
If they've got email address, I mean.
Everybody should.
Yeah, or they can print it out and give it to them. We can do both of those things.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
That's what I would
And
suggest.
see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
But I think at some point you may, if it keeps continuing, you may have to start thinking about that they start having to get disciplinary action or something.
Yeah, because that is in here.
Let's try this step first and
Okay.
regroup in 30 days, and if it hasn't
Sounds like a
remedied
plan.
itself, figure out a punishment.
No paycheck.
That'd make them sit up and take
Well, I think that's reasonable, because if you haven't authorized your time, you're not gonna get compensated for it. And if you understand, we need to go back and reiterate, make sure that
Just
you
pay them for the
understand what
time
the
that they've got,
process is.
actually got,
Approved.
proof of.
Yeah. That'd be an incentive.
problem is, all you do is create headaches for the people doing payroll and the department heads, and that's the problem we're trying to eliminate is to...
Right.
No, that's exactly right.
So that's how you're gonna get their attention, is to say, if you wanna get paid for the time that you're here, there's a
So
couple
you'll
simple
take care of that,
steps.
Gary, and
I
we'll give
will
that a
do
shot.
that. We'll try that first. I'll send out a note and contact them.
Sarah, I think you've got a few more things, don't you, that you
I
need to...
do. Okay, the Honeywell service agreement.
Move it.
So,
Moved by Kempley, second by Weiss to the contracts for Honeywell or maintenance. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and then the scrap metal for highway and maintenance, for purpose of sale for surplus.
Move.
second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to declare the highway scrap metal as surplus. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, I'm not 100% certain on this one, but the Centennial Village assign additional revenue, I'm
I didn't
assuming,
understand that either.
to the fairground?
We met with them yesterday, and the numbers that they used when they wrote the original check was for a subtotal. It showed 146 or 149 cases, and that's what they paid us on. And the grand total was 310 or 312, but, so they wrote us a check for an additional $1,205 and some pennies. So now we're all evened out for the year and zeroed out. So they just used the number that the distributor had highlighted versus the actual. They highlighted the wrong line is all that happened, so we're all squared away now. Took in another $1,205.
It's going the right way.
Yep,
Maybe we'll get another surprise.
yeah. So it brings us up to, I think, over, right near 14,000 for the year. So first one was like 12,800 or something. Keep seeing zeros.
Move it.
Yeah. Second.
Moved by Kempley, second by Sutton to to recognize the additional $1,200 some Centennial Village that was paid due to some inventory discrepancies. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The Coda pump and control contract, lift station, I'm assuming.
Move.
Where's that? Second.
It's in there.
No, but I mean, where's the pump located, or what?
For the lift
Yeah.
station.
At the fairgrounds?
No, I think it's...
I think there's one right out here.
Yeah,
Oh,
There's
okay.
one right on the north side of the courthouse.
Okay.
I
Yeah, that one
understand.
on the north side here.
I have a motion from
I
Sutton.
second.
Okay. Motion from Sutton, second by Biker to approve the contract for the Dakota Pump and Control. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The Interstate Power System contract would be the generator.
Move. Second. Moved by Weiss, second by Biker to approve the contract for the generator. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
What was the generic contract we signed initially, Sarah? There was one that said contracts, is that some,
Or which?
I think we already signed a bunch of contracts under contracts. Were these something else?
Must be.
I thought those are the ones we already acted on, the contracts for maintenance.
There was one fair one in there, the one you got right now. Maybe that was under contract. Just so we know what we're...
The one.
Because I think we covered all those that we just
I know she
recovered.
has a line in here for contracts, but I don't know what that was in regards to.
I think that's probably the fair contract, because the rest of them
Put that
were...
under contract, so we're not like making motions on.
Yeah, because I think
Okay.
we double approved some of those now.
So the fair one can be that, if there's no issues with it.
So I would entertain a motion to approve the fair contract. Is that what we want to do?
Yep. I'll move it.
Second, if you need.
I have a motion from Sutton, a second by Gifley to approve the fair contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Instruct auditor to withdraw 3 of the 4 parcels from the tax deed sale.
Don't do that. Let's talk about some of our legal options in exec first.
Okay, we'll skip over that then, sir.
2019 list of volunteers for work comp purposes.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to authorize the volunteers for 2019. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the 2019 salary schedule.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Piker, second by Sutton to authorize the 2019 salary schedule. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I got.
I don't believe I have anything else on my sheet.
We covered that RAM letter.
Grand letter. Oh, we have to, we need authorization to have the chair sign a letter for Ram Enterprises authorizing them to do the W-2s for the 2018 quarter that they did with our 3 quarters added into that.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kifley, to authorize the chair to sign the letter to Ram Housing Specialist. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Chris is here to give you an update.
Well, we don't have you on the agenda, but step forward, Chris, and have a chair.
South Dakota County.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I wanted to take this opportunity to stop by your commission meeting and welcome you to renew, however you want to put it, to the association, and just tell you that we are anxious to work for you this year. You guys are a very active board, so you're really pretty familiar with the association. Of course, we're starting our legislative session, and SDACC has retained 2 lobbyists, Lauren Pankratz and Eric Erickson, and you could probably remember Eric from being the former exec for the Officials Association, who went off to become an attorney and now is working with Cutler Law and wanting to get back into the lobbyist game. So on the official side, we have retained Roger Tellen. He has been their lead lobbyist for several years, and then we just cross-badge everybody. So we have a pretty good team over at the Capitol, and I believe 2 pieces of legislation came out of our county convention, which one originated through your district, and Dwayne, I believe you probably have got most of that
Yep.
handled and taken care of,
Yep,
so.
we have 2 legislators working on it as prime sponsors in the House and Senate, so we're,
What is this?
or 3 actually. The one that transfers 25% of any budget surplus to the Road and Bridge Fund for the big grant program.
I was down in Elk Point last week, and there was Senator Bolin was in, and he had mentioned that he heard out of West River there could potentially be becoming a piece of legislation to take the wheel tax off as a requirement. So that was the first that I had heard of it, so I don't know if that's going to come to
As a
fruition.
requirement to,
As one of the requirements for the big grant. Because, you know, counties have to
Right.
make sure that they have the wheel tax. And I had told the commission, I said, I'm assuming that if it's coming out of Pennington County, as they put it, I'm assuming it's because municipalities have less requirements for the big program than counties do. So, that'll be something that we'll probably have to think about if it does hit the hopper. That was the first I had heard of it, and so I know nothing
So it'd
more.
make every county eligible, whether they have a wheel tax or not, to apply for a
To apply.
big grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
You know,
taking that wheel tax caveat out.
one of the problems there with, for example, up in McPherson County, they've got like 2 bridges or 3 bridges. They don't have a wheel tax, but to be forced into a wheel tax with only having 2 or 3 bridges is just kind of like, you know, wow, for what? And so anyway,
2 sides to it.
yeah.
Yes. Yep. So, the bills are dropping kind of slow, it seems like, but it's been kind of a unique year. Complete, you know, this was a complete changeover of leadership. And, of course, they've had several vacancies, and now I just read in the paper that there's going to be several more contested, and that will be out of District 27 as to whether or not they had residency in South Dakota, so the Republicans are challenging the Democratic Republican and a senator. So, things are off to quite an interesting start, as session always is. Spring workshop is March 13, 14, and I believe usually you have a pretty good showing there, so just wanted to make you aware of the dates. We are working on an agenda. We do have District 1 coming, and they're going to do kind of a complete afternoon session on planning and zoning. So we'll see how that pulls together. And then, of course, we'll have various other topics, Robert's Rules. We've got DOT coming for an overview on the big program. And again, if you've got specific topics, please let me know.
Is that Pier?
That's in Pier, yes, always at the Ramcota. I'll be at the Ramcota for spring workshop and for convention. That should be the 16th and 17th of September. So, other than that, really, just to get started, I just wanted to say good morning, and that it was a pleasure to work for you, for your association, and don't hesitate to get a hold of us if you've got any comments, questions, concerns. So,
Very good.
thank you.
I'm
And
good.
of course, Dwayne sits on the board, so there you go. So, thank you for your time.
Thanks for
and
stopping.
You guys have a great day.
You as well.
Thanks.
Yep.
You know, there probably should have been, at some point in time, there should be some legislation that would make it so that when you came in to pay your taxes, you wrote out 2 checks, one to the school district and one to the county, because the counties seem like they end up taking all the heat and all the pressure when it comes to the assessments, the mill levies, all of those things, and yet, you know, just for example, what happened just recently in Langford School District where the wrong mill levy was used, now all the abatements, well, the county's held responsible for all of that, and the public is never aware of exactly what's going on. I think it'd be a rude awakening for people if they realized, and I know the treasurers wouldn't like this very well, but if they had to write out 2 checks, they would soon learn that the counties are getting, what, 20 to 25% of the tax dollars, and the school districts are getting 60 to 70% of the tax dollars. It would be an interesting approach to education, so, for whatever it's worth. Dwayne's idea.
I still think it's a good idea.
I do too. Excellent.
Anything else there?
No, that's all
Gary, you have
I
anything for us?
No, that was all.
I believe we will have exec for personnel and legal.
Contracts and proposed or pending litigation.
Okay.
Move it. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by West to go into exec. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in exec. Exec.
I would make a motion that we pull the Heckler property, which says Bear Lot. It's actually got a mobile home on it, but pull that off of the list for sale next Monday, but retain the 2 Aberdeen pieces, so it'd be the total of the 3 that were on the original sheet.
Okay.
We've already went to the work of advertising, see how it goes, and they'll be getting a visit from our friendly sheriff's department this week.
And then Max, I'll write something up for you and work with you on the language, so when you read it,
Okay.
it can address some of the stuff you typically address, but I have some other ideas to throw in there
Okay,
on this specific situation since it's already been.
right. Sounds good.
When do you need that by, Max?
So what?
The sale's the 14th. When do you want me to get that to you? Can I get it to you Monday?
Yeah, no, the 14th
No.
is Monday.
10 o'clock
I'll
Monday.
get it to you.
so.
I will work on it Friday.
Okay, and then I'll be here, so just call me and we can go
Okay.
through. Yeah. Okay.
I have a motion from Kipley to withdraw the Hecla City. It's lot 5 and 6, block 25, of plat north half block of 25. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, to remove that property. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else to come before the commission today?
Yeah. I hate texting.
You gotta get fancier phone, it's easier that way.
Much easier. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's somebody there. I've been up there before, but yeah.
Sheila's interest statement, I'll just put in next week. But I would need a motion. The maintenance bill that was pulled from the claims, I need a motion per that law number.
This is gonna be held off for a while. It just isn't gonna be paid.
Oh, okay, it's not gonna be paid.
You're talking,
Chris
Max,
is
that
gonna
you
be
need a
doing a
motion
letter.
for Sheila to apply it? Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, to,
We're gonna address that. I'm gonna send a letter first to this company or this business and see if they'll pay it up front. But then we'll get it on the agenda and then they can make that motion if they don't pay it. Yep.
okay, all right.
Because I don't think there's a time frame. If it's only 2 weeks, it's probably not a big deal.
No, there isn't. Okay, all right.
So that's kinda where we're gonna go with that.
Okay, all right. So, okay.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Parker to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Okay, now,